Hello, 4:09 a.m. Thursday, September 13th, 2012. Yeah, so I think me handling the tax situation with the IRS is out of the question. This is going to be, I guess, a status update, personal chat. Half of this, I don't, and it's like I'm reporting on some of the, and some of the things that I have done at the same time, sharing some personal information. So it's simply I don't want to be hassled with sitting here for another 2 hours and handling this, just determining how much money I've made and etc. How much money I've lost. Um, so the comments have finished. Yay! I finished them all. I think I pretty much answered every single comment that I've missed since April. So it took me quite a while. I think altogether, I think I spent maybe 20 hours answering the comments. I think maybe at least 20 hours. Yeah. So and that's like when I planned out to have this YouTube channel be the focus of some of my life's work. Uh, Not in this regard, these types of videos, but the videos that I wanted to do, still want to do. I still hold thought of them. It's just at the time present, I need to just kind of settle down here a little bit with the plans of organizing the campaign. So I didn't share. I got in touch with my friend, ex-friend, I guess, brother, and he's gonna call me hopefully if he remembers. And he probably will. It's important next week, and I'm gonna see where I could place him within my organization, the campaign. Uh, he would be tremendous help. And I've known him for Jesus. How long have I known him for? Sixth grade. I've known him for 14, 15 years. So, yeah, I think he's going, yeah, he's in school in Arizona. Uh, I think whatever he's studying, he's a college student. So realistically, his help would be only available maybe during the summer or maybe when he comes during the break, depending on how committed he is and or understanding about some of the issues we have. I think he understands that, like a lot of people would understand, our government is simply broken. Not the idea of our government. The idea of our government is really, really good. Well, great maybe, but the people in our government are not just not up to par to the 21st century needs. And basically, there's very little representation because average citizen, okay. So I received an email from Visa. I kind of completely, this kind of spaced out of my mind, but I have 27,486 points, which means more or less I spent $28,000 for my Visa card over the number of years I've had it, which might seem a lot, but not really. That's a very low number. Uh, So I looked at some things that I could get with those points, and there's a few things that I can realistically get at this point because it's a sufficient amount of points. So I was considering maybe I could get a printer using those points because that's something important that I need. Um, it's very important to have things in, not necessarily, the computer is very important, but some things it's important to have in a paper as well at the same time. For when you don't have the computer or just simply to read it, I can go to bed and read something, and of course you can get the iPad and see, it's simpler. You don't have to worry about charging. I can go to like a lake with some paper and I can sit there, or just simple. Simplicity is the best. That's I'm not going to talk about politics. Yeah, that's the thing. I think at some points during these videos, I get into this trance about and try to send out my political message, which has to be separate. Not necessarily separate, but there's no that political message is going to be for the campaign. So everything that I will continue on doing on YouTube will be my own personal endeavor, my own personal project. So and I will continue doing things separately in this. even when I begin the campaign and hopefully elected. And there's another thought that occurred to me today. If I'm elected, the campaign needs to be still alive. It's just simply not just going to be this tool to get me elected. So at the same time, I won't have as much time to participate in it, so I would need to find a leader for the campaign who's going to be in charge of the campaign, as the purpose of the campaign is not to simply get me elected. There's more to it than that. I'm pretty much going to be revolutionizing the way that the average citizen views the idea of a campaign, and hopefully that'll spread everywhere in the country. There's some things I wanted to say too. It was hard kind of answering some of the comments because they're just flat out unnecessary, really. There's no value to the comments. There's no value to some of the comments I answered, but I still wanted to answer them because even if somebody's so miserable or so hateful that they need to post just a completely vulgar, insulting comment, that's their moment of expression. Yet how negative and how hateful and unpleasant it may sound, that's how they're feeling. That's a representation of their thoughts and what they're feeling inside the heart is the hate, and simply ignoring it or disregarding it is not the solution. You need to address that. There's some problems in their lives, or they have a problem understanding the world, or the world has a problem understanding them. There's an explanation to everything. I don't necessarily believe in evil. I believe there's a reasonable and necessary explanation for everything that a person may ever do in his or her life. A person doesn't simply just appear that way. There were some life-changing events that occurred in a person's life through growing up that resulted in them being this way or that way. Oh, I was happy to hear back from Mira, because Mira posted on my that Russell Crowe, what's his name, Jason Russell video that I did, that I received a substantial amount of responses, and some very little positive responses, and the negative responses overshadowed all the little ones. But all the little ones that were yet very positive, they were the most powerful comments, and yet they're the ones, they kind of assured me that there's a lot of people out there, decent people, good people. I want to find them all. I want to find every single one of them. So I was in the process of answering the comments. Mira answered back, and she said something funny. She's like, "So is this going to be your manifesto?" I assumed it was in reference to what occurred with Jason Russell, with him finding himself naked out in the street, cursing the world, or pounding the ground out of despair, or some psychological or emotional breakdown. Just and so she said, is this going to be your manifesto? And I assumed that was a reference to that, in terms of, is that going to happen to me one day? I hope not. I hope I don't find myself naked on the ground, cursing the world and pounding the ground with my fists like a gorilla, just expressing the deepest anger that resides within my heart and letting it out. And I hope not. I hope not. Well, I hope that if that ever happens, there's going to be people around me that they're going to cover me up and take me away. But no, I don't know. I don't know if I ever shared this, but my grandmother ended up suffering from dementia, a really bad case. And then there's obvious some issues with my father. Um, so there's some family history of some psychological, mental things. And I keep that in mind every day because if there's a family history, then my mind is very limited. I mean, not limited, but the I guess the life expectancy of my mind is limited. So I hope to try to so maintaining my mind is more important than maintaining my physical health. It's the way I kind of look at it. In terms of my campaign, I need to start writing some flowcharts and just so different functions of it. I would just simply need to find the people to serve at those functions. For instance, well, I'm writing on this bad piece of paper. So when I say I have a lot of paper, this is how much paper I have. I think that's sufficient enough for me to do the planning phases of all the various little things that need to be done with the campaign. So every time I need to do something, I take a piece of paper and write it down. Not to mention I have some notebooks, and not to mention that like this pen is my weapon. This is my weapon. This pen. Not to mention this is like this book, for instance. Everything that I would like to accomplish and all these little ideas that I have, it's all written down here. I walk around like like this whenever I have it. I usually I'm so concerned about it. This is a great concern to me. But for the most part, I've maintained a record on YouTube with everything that has been said here. Though, let me add some things some recent things that I've added. Well, some things that I can't really share because of there's some things that need to be done with the FBI, and I can't really share any of that with that. And then there's some things that are going to be addressing public corruption. I can't really share any of that. Just simply because I don't want somebody to take it the wrong way. I'm afraid of that. I was disappointed when I asked about the property, though. Can I ask for donation of property for my campaign endeavors? Yes, but it has to be an in-kind contribution, so it's $2,600 per person. Which concerns me because if you could just give me a moment. Which concerns me because I mean, I'm at a disadvantage on financially raising terms because the established Democrat Republican monarchy can raise more money by law than me from individuals, and there's a lot more of these little organizations that exist that the individual can funnel their money to a particular candidate, and so I'm at a disadvantage as I'm going to be on the independent platform. So it's not of great concern. Uh, that's something like that's very important though on like a governor, president, because they raise and they need to raise a great deal of money to be able to send out their message. But if I'm concerned about maintaining my campaign uh, after elected, I will need to have some sort of a budget set up to allocate funds for the payment of the first of all, the leader who's going to be maintaining the campaign, because it still would be a tremendous effort and requiring a tremendous amount of their time, and they simply cannot run the campaign based on volunteering a couple of hours there and there after their main work, or I would like them to be, that would like that person to, that would be their full-time job. So I would need to have at least, I guess, a reasonable number, at least $50,000 or $40,000 per year for them for that, and that's quite low considering that they won't get health insurance. They're going to be paying for a lot of different things out of their own pocket, like gas, um, their own food, and they might need to pay for food for the other people who are going to be participating in the campaign, that are going to be using their own free time. I mean, it's something that could be done when there's people working collectively based off their own free time. It's uh, it's 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 a general courtesy to, at least for the leadership, to provide for lunch or dinner or simple things like that. So with that said, I wanted to add this, a newspaper liaison, actually a media liaison. And what that would be is the responsibility of that person would be to reach out and have contacts with every single relevant media outlet, whether it be local news, either that publish newspapers or magazines, uh, the TV networks of the local news, uh, various internet mediums, blogs, various internet-based journalist-based blogs, websites, internet media, whatever. It's quite vast, but that would be their task, is to get their contacts, and then whenever need be, to contact them in order to send out a message on whatever issue. Uh, I would need somebody in charge of recruiting uh, individuals who are going to be capable of going door to door and sending out my message through pamphlets, um, and that would be like a ground army, so to speak. So they would simply go door to door, and I have substantial experience doing that. When I used to be employed by a company that I was required to go to door and sell stuff to people, and it's a viable profession in today's. It's still functional, but it used to be a little bit more serious as a profession, way back. Um, you had insurance salesmen or health insurance salesmen that would go to door and sell health insurance, life insurance, different things like that. I think this was done on a more professional level. I think this was done in the 40s and the 50s. I think in today's society, American society, it's not really done on a professional level, especially given my experience. I worked at a company that barely trained me. It barely gave me the resources I needed. It simply just wanted me to go out there and just sell, without really preparing me for it in terms of making me a professional. That's something that I would have to take care of, or have the person that is recruiting be competent and educated enough to competently train the individual who's going to be going door to door. Because if they, you know, because their representation of me, if they're unprofessional or unaccountable or somewhat incompetent, then it won't work. Uh, at the same time, uh, as I will be probably the chief, um, there's a title to it, but the chief executive of the budget uh, of my campaign, the treasure chest, so to speak, it would be better for me to have, and I'm allowed to, have a second person to deal with all the finances, the money going in and the money going out of the campaign. Um, so for the time being, I'll just list it as maintain budget. Um, then there's the internet, website that will be a great deal. That's going to be the biggest concern of mine. And that's the most important concern of mine, because the going ground door to door, I can do that by myself. Media liaison, if need be, I doubt it, but it's something that I could do by myself. I realized the mistake of last year when I dressed up as Father Winter and I did the thing that I did. I don't know how many people are aware of or remember it. But I attempted to contact CNN for them to do a story on it, because I thought it was a really big deal, and I had all this experience I wanted to share, and I was quite disappointed it didn't receive as much attention as I wanted it to. Yet that it brought such a positive impact on all the people that I encountered with, the thousands of people that I encountered with, the positive impact that occurred. And it's an experience that they will take home with them and keep in their hearts and their minds for the rest of their lives, I think. Especially the ones who attempted to offer me money, and then I had to explain to them, no, I'm not doing this for money. Um, so the website is I already found somebody, and he has somebody under him, which is perfect. So he already is delegating something to somebody else, because this is how a business is done, in all honesty, or any organization. Uh, it's this is just necessary. Um, at the same time, I need somebody. I'm seeking assistance of this particular professor I used to have, and it would be of great importance if I could have him, if I could have his assistance. But I would like him to serve as basically a person who's going to examine the logic and the arithmetic of the campaign and my office objectives and my ideologies to make them art to make them sound. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the use of the word sound, not necessarily sound as you're hearing something, but uh, either an argument is sound or it is not sound. And when an argument is not sound, then there's some flaws within a particular argument, because you can take an argument and convert it to a mathematical formula, and then you can find out if the argument is true or false. It's quite mind-blowing. If anybody ever goes to college, or you are in college and you have an opportunity to take a logic course, take a logic course. You will remember this for the rest of your life. It's a life-changing course, because logic is a skill, and once you kind of begin to understand it, your life will significantly increase. I mean, the quality of your life will significantly increase, and you will be able to determine and separate when somebody is lying and when somebody is telling the truth. Um, logic. Um, me having some sort of a contact with a liaison for the FBI agency is of great importance of my office objectives. So it's quite difficult to explain, but basically I need to have a special agent that I would be able to call And I don't want to say too much about all this yet, but well, yeah. So I guess I might as well say it. The reason being is I want people in government right now, in whatever government, local, county, and government and state government, people like the interns, the secretaries, maybe the younger people who are working and seeing some type of corruption or some type of deceit or some sort of misuse of government tax money to whistleblow. I want whistleblowers in government coming out, and I want them going to me, and I will be sending them to the FBI. That's what needs to be done. It's something that needs to be done because, quite honestly, the state government, the county government, and the local government is not quite well. They're not. First of all, they're not trained in dealing with government corruption and the structure, the way that everything, the way that the local and county government is structured. Uh, it's impossible for the local police force, the local law enforcement, and the county law enforcement to investigate the local or county government. It's quite hard to explain right now, but just that's the way it's structured. Because the local government decides who the police chief of the law enforcement is going to be, because the county government decides who the sheriff, who the county police chief of police is going to be, and that's very problematic. So, special agent, we'll just put that. And I've never dealt with the FBI, but I have faith in their organization as a federal agency because of a man named Edgar. Was it Edgar Hoover? No, is it? I don't know. I forgot. I'm getting tired. Special agent, and then I need an events organizer. The events organizer would be tasked with organizing events, basically seeking out venues, seeking out places that I could go to and give speeches or give presentations on, uh, to send my message to various clubs, schools. There's a lot of things I could do just outside of my political ambition, and I wanted to do some of these things. Now I can actually do them. I wanted to go to schools and give some sort of a motivational, inspirational presentation about some aspects of my life that might be of great importance to the students themselves, uh, to have better lives, basically. The more that we give to students as a society, the better off they will be in life, and the less mistakes they will make. I mean, this is pretty much the basic. I mean, I might need to add more, but and some of these would be like the leaders of this particular thing. Basically, like the person for the media liaison might need to get a few people under him or her to assist him or her in doing certain functions that would be required as the media liaison, or the person in charge of the recruiting, uh, the person in charge of the budget, not necessarily, or the second person in charge of the budget is not necessarily going to be needed to handle or get somebody else. The website is taken care of. The logic is questionable. If this person does not, if I'm, I left them a message and I'm going to send them an email, but if this person's unable to assist me, it's going to be quite problematic for me. because I don't know anybody else. The events organizer is just simply me finding somebody. Same thing with media liaison, the recruiting as well. I have an idea for somebody for the second maintained budget. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't specify this, but video work. I plan to send out my message through a medium like this, YouTube, and my friend Oleg is going to be assisting me with the editing of the video, the filming of it. At the same time, he's going to be some of the videos there will be music, and he'll be in charge of that. Unfortunately, that's 3 different jobs that he'll be doing, but because of the nature of it, it's not quite. We're not going to be making a movie. This is going to be making 30-second, 1-minute video clips on various different issues, ideologies, public service announcements, political messages. At the same time, now I'm thinking we need somebody for social networking. Who's going to be in charge of various social networking websites that are available, and also under that branch, maybe the same person will do it, but facilitating a discussion among citizens through the use of a forum, just simply for the citizens to discuss things amongst themselves, and to just problem solve amongst themselves on various different things that they could realistically problem solve amongst themselves. It's just I don't see that happening very often. A lot of problems that I think that, you know, some of these problems I list are quite solvable just simply by the citizens uniting and whatever, without necessarily requiring a tremendous amount of money or any amount of money. It's good that I sat here and wrote this. I needed to do this for my campaign. And in the center of it is not necessarily me, but the campaign. It's not necessarily that it's like I'm this me. No, it's about the campaign. It's about the campaign objectives, and it's about the office objectives. That's all this is all about. At the same time, it'll be easier for me to get some things done in the office if I'm not really thinking about myself, but thinking about what it is that the objectives are. So I won't get confused or distracted. You know, that's I think that's there's a tremendous amount of potential for corruption and to do things wrong and to at the same time, I guess it's to deter myself at the same time to do something wrong, because it's what I wanted to say. I think it is quite easy to do some things in government for the benefit of yourself or your family or your friends. I think it's relatively easy to do that, especially for a person like me. So it's very important that I like everything in terms of my campaign and the people that I surround myself with keep me from doing anything wrong. I know it's hard to explain. Hmm. I should stop the video because I'm just simply just making this better. This is fantastic that I actually sat down and did this because I wanted to do it, but I just didn't know when I would do this. And at the same time, if anybody at any point feels they have some a fantastic idea to offer me or suggestion, feel free to do so. But for the most part of my campaign and for the most part of my uh, office position, I'll just be keeping a camera on me at all times. I'm actually considering just live blogging the entire experience. Just simply put a webcam on my hat and walk around with it. I think it would be quite genius. At the same time, it would maintain, it would ultimately prevent me from ever doing anything corrupt, because I'm always constantly recording, and anybody could be watching it, and they could be like, "Hey, what the fuck? What, you just took $10,000, motherfucker." I, I mean no offense with the vulgarity, uh, but I think that I mean that it's unheard of, and there's no law against it. So, anyways, I'm gonna just tinker around here with this idea and then go to bed. And then what will I do tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow I'll just go, I plan to go for a run tomorrow. I haven't ran in a while because I started to run and then I got sick. I got very, very sick. Then I got past it, and so tomorrow I think I'm gonna go for a run because I want to get myself in a better shape. You know, I don't know. I want to look. I want to feel better. I want to have more energy. I want to look better when I'm naked. So at the same time, I want to share something very interesting. And if somebody's watching, this is going to be like a bonus. I was just looking at all my channel demographics analytics that YouTube offers. It's pretty cool. So I have 80 of all the views that I've ever received. I think yeah, lifetime. 85.3% of it were male. 14.7% of it was female. I need more. I need more females to watch me. Um, about 20% of it was 13 to 17. About 15% of it was 18 to 24. About 15% of it was 25 to 34. About 10% of it was 35 to 44. Then there's a spike of 15% of 45 to 54. Then it drops down to 5% of 55 to 64. And then it drops even further to what looks like 2.5% of people 65 years of age or older. The majority, I've had 178,000 views from the United States. I've had 97,000 from Thailand. I'm quite popular in Thailand, I guess. United Kingdom, 49,000, almost 50. Canada, 46,000. Philippines, 37,000. Sweden, 26. Australia, 22,000. Finland, 18,000. Malaysia, 18,000. And Germany, 16,000. So that's pretty cool. But I've been looking at my subscribers, and they've been dropping like crazy because I guess I stopped doing video game videos, and I know the past few videos I've been doing, they've been getting just an unfortunate like view count of maybe under 5 or 10. But I've been, I've been losing subscribers. But as that, my current YouTube channel history is I've gained 986 subscribers and I've lost 368 subscribers. Uh, it's quite a shame. But right now I'm losing subscribers every day. It's very sad for me, but uh, unfortunately, maybe one day they will see me on TV and they're gonna say, "I curse myself for unsubscribing," and I don't know. So, with that said, I'm going to be going. This looks fantastic. I'm gonna just uh, make this even look better. Adios, amigos. Um, yep,